Hello friends, and welcome to The Hanged Man in the Moon, my video series in which I use tarot spreads to help me explore topics related to living the intentional life. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm honored. Well friends, the tarot spread has been laid, so let's dive right in. Does this week's spread look a little bit like last week's? Well, it is, because both of them were my week ahead readings. And just as last week, when I did my week ahead reading this week, the topic seemed very appropriate for living the intentional life, for living intentionally. And so I brought it in again this week. As usual, if you are interested in any of these decks, the information for the creators will be at the end of the video, and links to where you can purchase the decks that are in print will be below the video. There is one deck that is unfortunately now out of print. One of the Winter Waite decks is out of print. But except for that, the other decks are still available. So, friends, let's look at the first card of this spread. The first card of the spread is Shoes and Hay. And in the card you can see two wooden shoes with hay and carrots stuck in them. Why is there a card for shoes and hay? Well, you know the tradition of leaving cookies and milk out for Santa Claus. It's a fairly modern tradition. In the 1930s in the United States, the tradition originally began by people leaving small snacks, but also hay and straw and carrots for Santa's reindeer. The idea, and this was during the time of the Depression, in the area of the Dust Bowl, which is an area where there was severe drought during the Depression, and a lot of crops failed, and a lot of people had to migrate west to find new work. A lot of farms collapsed. And so in this time of economic distress, people wanted to remind their children, especially, to learn to be grateful for the people who give to them. Yeah? People who give gifts should be shown gratitude. And one way to show gratitude to Santa Claus was to leave him a snack and to leave something for his reindeer. And this tradition might link very loosely back to an older tradition. In the Norse, the Nordic area, Odin, one of the great gods Odin, was also known to give gifts to children around Yule, which is the 21st of December. And Odin had a horse with 8 legs. This is what the horse looked like. So, you saw two pictures of Sleipnir. Sleipnir is the name of Odin's 8-legged horse. And so Odin rode his 8-legged horse with the Valkyrie, and at Yule would stop and give gifts to some children. And the children, in preparation, would leave out food for Sleipnir to eat. Examples: hay, straw, perhaps even carrots. So this card is reminding us to show gratitude, to express gratitude, to not only feel gratitude, but to express gratitude to those who help us, who give to us. And that group of people is very broad. That group of people could include our parents, our teachers, It also includes the people who ring up our groceries at a supermarket, or who help us put gas in a car, or who help us find a home or find shelter when we have lost our homes, when we are in distress. Now, there are many people who help us many times during a day. It could even be the person who perhaps holds a door open for us so that we can pass through easily, more comfortably. There are people who are there helping us every day. And oftentimes we forget to show gratitude to those people. There's also the concept of paying forward in anticipation of being helped. Yeah? Some people show their gratitude by, when they go to a store, paying for the person behind them. There are many ways for us to express gratitude. And gratitude is a very, very important concept when we want to live the intentional life. Now, frankly, to live an intentional life, we want to be in a state of love, of joy, of well-being and pure awareness as much as we can. But we also need to be realistic. There are times when we are not going to feel pure love, pure well-being. Yeah? Part of living in a physical body, in a physical universe, is diversity of experience. And some of those experiences we are not going to appreciate, we're not going to like, and we're going to have negative reactions, and we're going to feel negative emotions, and that is okay. That is fine. We might feel anger, we might feel depression. Have you ever felt depression or anger? Have you ever felt depression or anger or even irritation or pessimism and known that you really want to be feeling love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness, and tried to jump from that negative feeling to bliss, if you will? Have you felt that? Have you tried to do that? Have you noticed how difficult it is? If you've felt like you've been able to slap joy on top of depression in an instant, you might be spiritual bypassing. You might be slapping a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound. And that is not good either. It takes time for us to move from a negative emotion to something positive, especially something as positive as love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. And for me, I've noticed that one of the easiest ways, one of the smoothest ways, one of the most possible ways for me to move from a negative feeling, like anger or irritation, to something more positive, slowly working my emotions in the direction of joy or well-being or love, is gratitude. I can get to gratitude easily. Well, it takes work, it takes focus, but I can get to gratitude. And when I have settled myself finally in gratitude and appreciation, then the journey from there to love, joy, well-being, and awareness is much easier, much more possible. So gratitude is one of the greatest tools we have when we want to live our lives more intentionally. And if you want to see a more in-depth video discussion of gratitude, I have one on my channel. I'll put a link in the box below if you want to check that out. It's also on my webpage. So, for this week, especially this week in which in the United States in particular, where there has been such upheaval and distress and worry and anger around the political situation, but also internationally, where we're still dealing with some very dangerous, some very worrisome some painful health issues around the COVID-19 pandemic and mutated versions of the disease, and recently skyrocketing rates of infection and death. In this time of upheaval, gratitude is going to be one of our best tools to live our lives intentionally. So let's dive into that. Let's look at the first group of cards. The question around this set of cards is, what do I believe? What do you believe about the current situation in the world? Or if you're watching this much later when everything is solved, what did you believe about the situation in the world at the beginning of 2021? What were your beliefs? Well, the first card shows us and reminds us that most of us are feeling that this is a time of endings, of change. Have you heard people talking about the new normal? We've heard that for quite a while, especially in social media. The new normal. What is the new normal? So we notice and we recognize that this is a time of change and a time of endings of older ways of being, and hopefully a transition into a new way of being, a transition into the new us as humans on this earth, a time of transformation. And the next card might be indicating what that transformation's direction is. We want to have more clarity, especially mental clarity. And we believe we need mental clarity to be able to travel through this time of transition. We believe we need to have our intellectual power active to maneuver our way through the new normal to the new us. We believe that we want an orderly world again. Things are very disorderly right now, and the King of Swords is a king of also order and truth. We want the truth, and we believe that that is the direction we are heading in. And that transition, that transformation from the old to the new that we are believing in, that we believe in, can be midwifed, can be assisted with gratitude. The more that we can show gratitude to the people who are helping us birth this new world, all of the people, including especially first responders, the people in the medical profession who are caring for us, the people who are developing vaccines, the people who are guarding and maintaining the structures, the political structures that need to stay as we transition. Those people, but also the people who are helping us at the grocery store, the people who are delivering things to our homes when we have the money to order it, the people who are offering volunteer services to those who don't have the money or the resources to purchase as much now. The people who are caring for us, we need to show gratitude to them. We want to show gratitude to them. We want to give to them to show that we recognize what they are doing for us and we appreciate it deeply. And the more appreciation we can show, the more appreciation we can experience, the more gratitude we can live within, the more we will realize and recognize that the mental clouds that are surrounding us can part, that we can begin to regain our own authority for our own lives and our own actions, that we can regain the mental acuity that we want and believe that we need to move through this time of transition. Gratitude and appreciation are the tools that will help us move in this time of change and transition, the death of the old, but also the birth of the new. Friends, let's look at the next grouping of cards. This set of cards is asking the question of us, what am I looking for? What are we looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for in this time of change? What are you looking for as we see the old die? Are you looking to go back, or are you looking to go forward? I think most of us are hoping to go forward. And the first card, the Seven of Cups, is a card of sometimes illusions, but also of dreams. And you can see that in each of the 7 cups there is a different item. Yeah, there is a wreath. Well, this is the Winter Waite. So this is a little bit different than the standard representation, but you can see that there are different things. There's candy in one, there's a wreath in another, there's a little angel in one. There are different things, and we all have different dreams that we have. We all have different opportunities that we want to follow. And maybe we need to choose or focus in on one or two, but we all have our dreams that we are moving towards when we live our intentional life. Yeah? The flow of intention, the power of intention is moving us in the direction of these opportunities and these manifestations and these dreams. On the side of the card of dreams is the card of the tower bursting in flames. And don't worry, this is not total destruction. This is a time of sudden change, which we are in. It's a time of perhaps upheaval and chaos. But it's also a time of revelation. It's a time of awakening. It's a time of old structures crumbling to reveal the truth within. Yeah? We build these towers around us to protect us from change, to protect us from the outside world, to protect us from other people. And while we are staying safe in our homes and not physically interacting with people right now, we are still watching the structures around us crumble to reveal our vulnerability, to reveal the truth of who we are that we have hidden within these walls that have been constructed around us as individuals and as groups and as societies. And those walls have been a sign of hubris. They've been a sign of ego. And it has been past time for them to fall. So, we've got on one hand the dreams, the opportunities we are hoping for, and on the other hand, the crumbling structures. The crumbling that needs to happen. The crumbling that has been long coming. And how can we move through the crumbling tower towards and in the direction of the dreams and opportunities that we are looking for? Now, we've been looking for this crumbling. Don't get me wrong. This crumbling is not happening against our wishes. As a collective society, we have been longing for this crumbling of the old. And it's been showing. It's been showing in elections around the world. It's been showing in populism that there has been a desire for change, a need for change. So, how do we move through this change? Again, gratitude. Showing gratitude, feeling gratitude, and expressing gratitude is what is going to clear our path to flow in the direction of the manifestations before us. the manifestations of love, the manifestations of relationships, the manifestations of well-being, the manifestations of new jobs, the new jobs that will be created after we have gone through this transition, the artistic creations that we are longing to manifest, to move in the direction of those desires, requires a clearing away of our resistance, a clearing away of the obstacles. And as things can crumble into our stream, and to clear those things away, so the stream, the river, the flow of our intention can move us forward. Gratitude is our tool. Being grateful to those people around us who are here moving with us. And those people who seem to be moving against us. Being grateful for them showing us what needs to break away, what needs to crumble. Those people who look like our enemies are showing us what needs to change, so we can be, when we are stronger, when we are feeling stronger than perhaps now, we can feel gratitude for them, for their showing us what the tower that needs to crumble. We can even feel grateful for those people. We can feel grateful for those people. Maybe not now, but we're looking for that, looking for the time when we can feel grateful for those people who have shown us where we need to change. And we're realizing a lot of that. I've noticed at this moment in the United States, at this time when there was an attack on the US Capitol, that a lot of people of privilege are openly expressing their awareness of the privilege that they have. And that is a huge change. And we're looking for that change, a recognition of the privilege that we have and a clearing away of the structures that is preventing others from having the same privilege. Let's look at the next set of cards. These two cards are reversed. The question for this grouping of cards is, what am I responsible for? We are all responsible at this time of change. And we're responsible for showing gratitude, for one. We're responsible. That is a responsible thing to do. But the first card is the reversed Seven of Swords. So we are responsible for recognizing our role in the change, in the transformation, in the transition to the new world. We're responsible for doing our part, for protecting others, and for upholding structures that support our fellow citizens, that support our fellow human beings, and also for helping to clear away the structures that are stopping, limiting, that are imprisoning our fellow human beings and our fellow creatures and life on this planet. Yeah, we're not only destroying and harming each other as human beings, we're also harming other life on this planet in so many ways. And we are all responsible for moving in the direction of correcting these injustices, correcting the damage that we have all caused on this planet. The Seven of Swords points to several things, but two things I'd like to emphasize. One is the imposter syndrome. Do you ever feel like the actions that you try to take are both insufficient and that you're just not good enough? You're not capable enough to solve the problems. And when you try to solve the problems, you're just being an imposter. Have you ever felt that? Or Have you denied your responsibility in this situation? Do you feel like you are only a victim and it's all happening to you? That is self-deceit. That is deceiving yourself into believing that you are only a victim and have no responsibility for the experiences in your life. Now, if perhaps your experience in the world at this time is wonderful, it's full of love, and there are no problems for you, everything is flowing beautifully, wonderful. This card is not you, perhaps, unless you are deceiving yourself. But if you are sitting in the middle of a crumbling tower and feeling you have no responsibility for it, you are also deceiving yourself. And that's okay. That's one way that we protect ourselves from upset, from distress, from this time of change. We protect ourselves by denying our part in our experience. But it's time to wake up. It is time to wake up and take responsibility for our participation in the systems that are now crumbling. It is time to wake up to the fact that we have power. We are not imposters when we act. You are not an imposter when you move towards correcting injustices, when you move towards more justice and more balance in the world. You are not an imposter. Now, we might get things wrong. That's okay. We learn from making mistakes, but we still try. And we're not imposters when we try. We are learners. So we want to remember that we are all learners in this situation. And we also want to know that we are responsible for reparations. Now, the Seven of Swords card is also about reparations and requital. Yeah? Making amends. And we are responsible for making amends for the injustices that have happened until now. We are all responsible. We are all responsible. I am responsible. You are responsible. The people around you are responsible. Now, that doesn't mean you need to go around telling, you're responsible, you're responsible, you're responsible. That's not what I'm saying. But as individuals, we need to recognize our responsibility in reparations and repair. And so the next card is also upside down, but the Page of Wands upside down is a hopeful card still. It is a card of newly formed ideas. It's a card of redirecting energy, and those are two things we want to do now. As we realize our responsibility for the injustices and for reparations, we are also responsible for newly forming our ideas, for redirecting our energy in the direction of reparations, in the direction of justice. We are responsible also for clearing away our self-limiting beliefs. Now, we are in the middle of physical limitations. We want to maintain that until we have secured our health situation. But we also have self-limiting beliefs that are not only physical, but are mental, emotional, spiritual. And recognizing those is also our responsibility. Recognizing our self-limiting beliefs and clearing them away so that we can move in the new direction. And that new direction is a spiritual path. And that spiritual path, which is also indicated in the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a spiritual path. And that spiritual path is paved with gratitude. Gratitude. Every step we take in gratitude is a step on the spiritual path towards justice, towards reparations, and in the direction of our intention. So gratitude, friends, is our tool for all of these things. Gratitude is our tool for regaining our mental clarity. Gratitude is our tool for moving through this time of sudden change and upheaval. Gratitude is our tool for recognizing our responsibility and clearing away our self-limiting beliefs so that we can create the new society, that we can create the new relationships, that we can create our new lives in the new world that we are forming. We are going to form a new world. Do you believe it? Can you believe that we are going to transition to something better after this? And the flow of our intention is moving us in that direction. And gratitude is the way we will continue moving with the flow of our intention. Do you have a gratitude practice? I do. I've honestly it's been on hiatus for a while, but I have a gratitude practice, a gratitude journal that I keep. Yeah, I would write 10 things I am grateful for, and the reasons I'm grateful for those things, those people, those events, not only things, not material things only, sometimes material things. Grateful for the sun, for example. Grateful for life, for example. Grateful for love and my relationships. What role has gratitude played for you in your life? How does gratitude impact you and others? I'd like to know what you think about gratitude in the comments below. Now, friends, so I will end this by suggesting that if this was meaningful for you, that you hit the like button, that you subscribe and click that little bell so you get notified when I upload videos. I upload about once a week, sometimes a little bit more when I've got a deck to talk about. And also share this with people who you think might benefit from it. I'd love this to get into the viewing space of others as well, if it can help them, if they can find value in it. And I also hope to hear from you below. I'd love to hear what you think about gratitude. Again, at the end of this video, there will be information about the decks and where you can buy the decks below. I'll leave a link to my description or my video about gratitude below. And friends, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.